there, what's up, and welcome into On the Bluff. Episode 149 is absolutely positively live. Gabe Kuhn here with you. Normal one of the co-hosts. Christian Fowler not with you. He's got a good excuse though.
He does.
He moved into a new home. He's getting married soon. He's getting fiber optic cables under his house. He's got the hookup, so he's getting his internet in. So
Get the
Kenny
hookup.
Field is both producing and co-hosting tonight. Kenny, how you doing, brother?
I'm here, man. It's good to see you. Christian is going to be, I think we're going to have to get used to this idea until December when he gets married, that it's going to be hit or miss with him because he's got a lot going on.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on. No, trust me, we both know about it.
Oh, we
planning
know.
a wedding and moving into a new house and getting ready for married life and potentially starting a family soon. Like that's all,
Whoa.
It can weigh on you. There's
Are you breaking news here? Is he starting a family?
No. I don't know. I think he's sexually active though, so I couldn't tell you.
Whoa.
Oh, my wife downstairs just heard it and she said, Gabriel. But so Christian, he will be probably a little.
That happens? Is that how that happens? Starting a family? Is that how that happens?
I think so, yeah. Or is it the stork? I couldn't tell you.
It's the stork.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
sorry.
We have plenty to get to. First, I want to start in one spot and one spot only.
Yeah, man.
Memphis versus Rice, 38-14 on Friday night. Do you have anything to add to what's already been said out there in the ether? There's really that game was it was over early. I liked how Memphis handled their business. It was 31-7 at half. And second half, they just sort of sat and relaxed and ended up winning 38-14. I don't really have any notes. I will say this, though.
I have a note.
I've gotten used to the idea of it not being a Memphis game if Brendon Lewis doesn't get out of the game at some point with injury. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be scared at least a little bit.
And I'm glad we're on the same page because that's my note, right? Like, I'm having flashbacks to the 2022 basketball season when literally every single game there was the expectation that Kendrick Davis was going to have a season-altering, career-ending, like, ankle injury, and then 2 minutes later he was back. And so, that is becoming a very common thing. The fact that it's football tells me all of it makes sense, right? Like, football is a brutal sport on a body, and it makes sense with as much as he runs, the way that he does not slide, the way that he gets down, he's gonna get rolled up on quite a bit, and so we're just kind of used to it at this point. But I think you told me earlier, Tim Cramsey in his interview or in this press conference today said he's back, has good practice.
Nothing to worry about. Tim Cramsey said B. Lou had a good practice today in his accent. Old Cramsey's accent. B. Lou had a good practice today is what he had to say. So I would assume he's good to go, ready to go.
Which the Tigers need him.
I do need to say this. He should have been out of the game already. Probably.
Yes.
38-7, 12 minutes to go. We had we'll talk about it later when we get into the hot three, but we had an example where that went very badly.
Horribly wrong.
So I thought he should have been out the game, but all the worry, it should be alleviated with what Tim Cramsey had to say at the podium today.
We're good.
All right, now coming up on Friday, huge opportunity and game. Memphis hosts Tulane.
Right.
ESPN, 8 o'clock, the pseudo Halloween edition of this game. It should be a fun one. Now, I have two decent size sort of points to make. One's a concern. One is me being hopeful. Okay. My hopeful, I'll start there. I'm hoping all this John Summerall talk is starting to get to Tulane. It certainly looked like it did last week against UTSA. 48-26, Owen McCown, 370 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 31 for 33, I think, is what he did. So this defense for Tulane is very gettable. The John Summerall talk, it ain't stopping anytime soon because we have 4 SEC jobs open, and he's near the top of odds for all of them, including the one that just opened with Auburn that we'll talk about in a bit. Now, here is where my concern does come in. They are coming off that loss.
Yes.
And they have to keep their season alive and cooking. They're used to being in the American Conference Championship game. That's still attainable if they beat Memphis. So it's sort of a which way does it go for this Tulane team?
This is quite literally a loser goes home match on Friday. Like, that's why this game is like I am hoping Friday night, 8:00 on ESPN. Not that we're shilling for the University of Memphis or doing their job for them, but the Memphis fans should absolutely pack the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium out. It is going to be raucous. You have plenty of time to get down there. You have plenty of time to get libations in you. You have plenty of time to get completely riled up. It'll be a beautiful Friday night. This game means everything to both.
Yep.
If Memphis loses, it's over. If Tulane loses, it's over. This is massive, right? Like,
yeah, 100%. No doubt about it.
This is, I wonder the Tulane game against UTSA, to kind of talk about the John Summerall talk. It was such an ugly game for Tulane that I literally started to do some research on, are there any defensive backs from Tulane that are not at Tulane any longer that are friends with Owen McCown on Facebook or on Twitter or on X or on Instagram or Snapchat?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Like, there's Owen McCown has games where he looks like dude from he's terrible some games.
Yes.
And then some games where you're like, bro has the playbook. There's no doubt in my mind.
Against North Texas, he was 11 for 20 for 84 yards. Let's see, against A&M, 19 for 32, 121. What's this? Colorado State, 14 for 27, 173. And then he breaks out against Tulane in a massive game, 31 for 33, 374 touchdown.
Like, come on, man. Come on, dude.
He does play well at home, though. I'll give him that.
Whatever. Like,
but know what? I'm just going to be honest with you. These are just my general thoughts. I don't feel like I need to knock on wood. Don't feel like I really need to hide my thoughts about this Tulane team. I'm not a big buyer in this Tulane team. I think Memphis should be able to handle business. Should be is the key word there.
Yeah.
Because they lost to UAB a couple of weeks ago. I thought they should have handled business easy against them. But Jake Retzloff didn't have a good lead up to the season. He's been running the ball way better than he's throwing the ball. He had 2 picks in that UTSA game, only 7 touchdowns throwing the ball. They don't really have a crazy amount of talent on the outside. They have some guys that could potentially beat you, right? You look at a guy like Omari Hayes. He's a solid player. Let's see, Shaz Preston's out there. He's a solid player, transfer from Bama. Right. But none of them have really shown through in the passing game so far this year. Yeah. It's really their run game you have to focus on. And I feel like Memphis's run defense, I mean, watching them against Rice with that sort of triple option attack, they look pretty damn good against the run. Memphis's run defense has held up pretty damn well so far this year. Outside of that UAB game, which is just such a weird anomaly of a game, especially considering what they've done since then. So there's that. And then offensively for Memphis, I think it is going to be interesting to see how they attack Tulane's defense, because they are way better in run defense than pass defense. They give up 240 some odd yards per game through the air. And their secondary is not that great. They don't have an awesome pass rush. So I think the O-line can hold up. But can we see like the Brendon Lewis, what he was able to do in the second half against South Florida?
Yeah.
Can we see him be efficient as well as make plays down the field for this Memphis offense? Because I think that's where the game's going to be won or lost offensively. Is Tulane's going to try to stop the run, just like every team has since the FAU game.
Right.
So you're going to have to throw the ball. And I think that Brendon Lewis has passed just about every test so far.
Absolutely.
Since defenses have changed how they've defended Memphis. It's just another test this weekend, or this Friday. So we'll see if he's able to do that.
Not to give away the game plan, but I'm interested in seeing if Memphis will get their tight ends involved more in the pass game. They have not done that a lot this year.
Really, the only play that jumps off the top for me is that one big play
USF.
Out of the pocket to Christian Ross in USF in the USF game.
Yep. I would like to see if they're able to get some seam routes, get some, that kind of stuff with the big tight ends, because Christian Ross has shown that he can catch the ball. It just is something that
he's pretty athletic. He's got some after the catch ability.
Yeah, they've got. I like him, and I'm kind of surprised especially with what we've seen with Cramsey and Silverfield over the last few years with their tight ends. They haven't used them more, and so I am interested to see if maybe that is something that we will see kind of pushed on a little bit.
And honestly, you could see some of that on film too when I went back and watched the UTSA and Tulane game. I watched it live, but then sort of caught the highlights and everything.
Right.
UTSA was finding their tight end.
Yes,
a fair amount in that game.
Were.
I think he came into the game with less than like 30 yards receiving, and he doubled that. He had like 60 some odd yards receiving and I think 3-4 catches. So there's going to be some chances out there. I do think teams are starting to also key in on Cortez Bram for a very good reason. His contested catch ability, the run after the catch against Rice was good there. I hadn't really seen that from him because I don't think he's a burner by any stretch of the imagination. But I think defenses down the stretch are going to start keying in on him. But I do like what, we talked about Tim Cramsey basically saying Brendon Lewis practiced today, but I like what he said. He just said, we always want to put defenses in a bind. We never want to have them, we don't want them to have an answer to what we're doing.
Right.
If we're not executing, we didn't make the right decision because they run a bunch of RPO, a bunch of read option, a bunch of concepts like that. So I do acknowledge and admire what Tim Cramsey's been able to do since he took over as the Memphis offensive coordinator of not only adapting from Seth Hennig, but week to week.
Yeah.
I think it's been pretty impressive to see him. Like his offenses don't seem to go stagnant. You know what I mean?
Right.
For example, Miami past couple of weeks. They've lost a couple games. They're out of the college football playoff conversation, but in the first couple of weeks they were slinging it all over the yard, running, doing whatever they wanted offensively. But as you see with a guy like Mario Cristobal and Shannon Dawson, their OC, as the season starts to trickle down and more films out there, they're still doing the same thing.
They're still doing the same thing.
They're not giving different looks. They're letting people pick up on tendencies. And Tim Cramsey has done a really good job with that offensive staff of being able to keep teams honest by not allowing themselves, like allowing his own offense to fall into tendencies and, go back to things constantly that have worked. They tried to switch it up and confuse the defense's eyes no matter who they're playing.
Yeah, they're doing that well. I mean, they're doing that well. That's why I think you might see a new wrinkle this week. And I think the tight end game would be a fun one to see it. Do you think that as a former player, as somebody who understands momentum better than most, do you think that last year's shellacking in New Orleans has any ramifications on this game?
I think that would be a Tulane talking point. And also, let's not forget Ryan Silverfield saying, I hope Tulane loses every game for the rest of the year after they played them.
Okay, I got a question for you, bro.
Listen, there's enough. This is really when I look up and down the conference, because in the old conference it'd be Memphis and Houston,
right?
Memphis UCF had some
Cincinnati
staying power.
Yeah.
Memphis and Tulane is the rivalry.
It is
in this conference right now,
without a doubt.
That it's going to be fever pitch. That people are going to be rocking in the stadium Friday night, 8 p.m. later start. I think people are going to really enjoy it. But I think both teams are going to be ready to go. I do question Tulane and the John Sumrall thing. Yeah, that's the only thing I question when it comes to like their want to and the effort that they're going to give. But this is the rivalry. This is sort of the premier matchup in the American Conference, the one you wait for all year.
Why does Ryan Silverfield have so much juice for Tulane? Like, it feels like he talks more about, like, he says things about Tulane more than any other school.
That's a good question. I think one is it's like, yes, it's the rival, and both these teams are always at the top of the American Athletic Conference standings or American Conference standings.
Right.
But also, like, I think there's a nice little friendly or not so friendly. I need to ask Ryan about this. But, like, it seems like there's a friendly rivalry between him and John Sumrall. They're both coming up for, job
big
openings.
Jobs. Right.
They're always there at the top, and the game always matters. I think also this is me I'm being a little more abstract here, because I know Ryan doesn't go on social media or listen to any media during the year, doesn't try to at least. But I feel like a lot of Memphis fans have made an example of Ryan by using John Sumrall and Tulane as the example, by saying, well, they've been able to make it to the conference championship 3 years in a row. Why can't you do it?
Right.
Why haven't you been able to break through? John Sumrall came in and immediately took that program over, and they're ahead of you in the football standings. Why can't you accomplish that? That's a little more abstract of a thought, but I've noticed that over the years. It feels like Ryan gets held to the John Sumrall standard to a certain extent. So I would imagine if he hears any of that, that probably means something to him.
Now, that makes sense to me because he is known for every press conference saying this isn't coach speak, and then giving coach speak, and then saying like not to give bullets.
I've always wondered that. Do you think it sounds like coach speak, but when you say it's not coach speak ahead of it, like I have to take it your word, right?
Well, listen, it's like somebody saying, I'm not trying to be racist, but whatever comes out of their mouth after that is absolutely about to be the most racist thing you've ever heard in your entire life.
No offense. Maybe no offense too before would be an easier example to draw.
Right? But not saying that I'm not saying Ryan Silverfield's racist. I'm saying that him saying this isn't coach speak is akin to saying no offense, but anyway, it's going to be coach speak coming out after that.
All right.
Sorry, I kind of got flustered there for a second. I was like,
oh
my God, I'm going to get a phone call from the University of Memphis.
Did you call me racist on the pod this week?
No, I did not. You flustered me for a second there.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's move on because we do have to talk about this. We have some odds, and then I'll get to the ESPN FBI. Some odds for Memphis and the Group of 5 college football playoff hopefuls. South Florida is plus 235. They're the favorite, even though Memphis beat them a couple weeks ago. That's weird. North Texas plus 270 in second. Memphis plus 360. And then James Madison, which I saw a lot of Memphis fans and James Madison fans exchanging pleasantries. But they're plus 390. And I don't get James Madison's gripe. The Sun Belt stinks. You haven't beaten anybody of consequence. Right. Memphis and James Madison have one common opponent. It's Georgia State. They beat Georgia State 14-7. Memphis beat them 38-16. So it's just we're in two different worlds, brother.
Right.
There's nobody in the Sun Belt that is as good as the top 4 and top 5, quite frankly.
Tulane, Navy,
like UTSA in the Sun Belt would probably be really, really good.
Yeah.
In my opinion, my humble
let's go top 6 then if you're adding UTSA to the equation, right? Like you got North Texas, South Florida, Memphis, Tulane, Navy, and UTSA would probably all do really well.
Top 6.
Yeah.
So
we're just different worlds,
Madison,
bro.
But if they keep pacing and have one loss and win the Sun Belt Conference championship, sure, you can be in the conversation, but I still think the American Conference champion is going to get through it unless it's just a full cannibalism at the end of the year, which is possible.
100%.
But North Texas doesn't really play anybody the rest of the year. So they're kind of on
they're basically shoehorned into the American Conference championship.
Kind of, for the most part.
Beating Navy the way they did. They're pretty much in.
I want to get to the FPI now because I'm having trouble. I just really am having trouble. Here are the top 4 as far as making the college football playoff, percentage-wise. It goes in order. North Texas, 28.8% chance. James Madison in second, 27.4% chance. South Florida, 26.2% chance. Then Memphis is in 4th among Group of 5 teams with a 19.9% chance. Okay, so I get that schedules are not even. I get that, some people have an easier road to a college football playoff. North Texas and James Madison may fit that billing.
Right.
But I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to look at North Texas and look at James Madison and think that they are really on the same level as a South Florida or a Memphis. South Florida went to North Texas, 3 weeks ago. Right. And hung 63 on them after fumbling the first 2 possessions away. They didn't punt the rest of the way. They didn't even so much kick a field goal. They scored every single time down the field at North Texas. And I think North Texas is a great story. Looking at Eric Morris, their coach, what he's done with quarterbacks in the past. It was John Mateer. It was, he's done what he's done with Drew Mestamaker, who, by the way, have you heard that he didn't start in high school? If I hear that one more time, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. But it's great what they've been able to do. 8-1, just beat Navy 31-17. But like, I don't know how we can realistically, with the fever pitch that it was at North Texas, biggest crowd ever, one of their first sellouts in 20 years, all the momentum they had as an undefeated team. I don't know how you look at allowing 63 points, losing 63-36, and still put them on that pedestal like, oh, they're coming. They should be the favorite in the group of 5 to get that college football playoff spot. If they meet, in my opinion, South Florida or Memphis in a title game, they ain't winning that game, brother. They're just not. I'm not buying it. And it was great what they did to Navy, ran the hell out of the ball. Drew Mestamaker took care of it. But there's nothing in particular about that team that scares me. I guess Drew Mestamaker can air it out every once in a while, and he can go for 400 yards. Eric Morris, decent coach, but they haven't really played anybody. And that Navy wins, I always try to explain to people, it's hard to put it into words. Like, it is the triple option in the end of the day. If you have a good plan against the triple option, you can beat them. Yeah. Because their defense is never really anything all that special.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're just a very disciplined team that if you're not prepared for the triple option, they can gash the shit out of you. If you're prepared for it, anybody can beat them. They could lose to freaking Rice. They could lose to, So, like, I'm not giving them some unreasonable amount of credit for beating an undefeated Navy team, as good as it may look on paper.
I mean, I feel you. I guess my only comment to that, and I'm a Memphis guy, so I'm not sitting here, is Memphis did go to UAB and lose at UAB on the road. I mean, it's like, so like there's levels to this of like North Texas. Yeah, they lost to USF at home and they had 63 hung on them. But I guess I just give them credit for what they've done. Like, I haven't watched.
No, like, I'm not saying they're a bad team.
I haven't watched them
at all.
I have not watched them much. I've watched a little bit of their games, but not a lot. So I don't know them as well as you do. But it like, you see the offensive numbers and you see the production, and you're like, and they're 8-1 on the season, or 7-1.
I just got to be honest. There's one thing that I just didn't want to say that I think North Texas cannot do against a Tulane, a Memphis, or a USF. They will get their ass kicked in the trenches every single time. They're not ready in the trenches yet.
Love it.
They just aren't.
And that's it. Isn't that where the levels to this college football game are in the trenches? Like, everybody has athletes. Everybody has quarterbacks.
And some people would come back at me and say, well, what about Navy? Navy's not big. Navy's not even that strong in the trenches, brother. They're just tough and disciplined.
Yeah.
It's usually what they are. If you execute, you're fine against Navy.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
So I just –
that makes sense to me.
I've watched South Florida. I've watched Memphis. I've seen their size. I've seen their ability on both trenches, on both sides.
Yeah.
They're better than North Texas there. And I think that's where they win the ball game if they ultimately match up with them in the conference championship game. It's so strange to me. Memphis beats South Florida. Yeah. South Florida kills North Texas. And it's like, well, North Texas beats Navy once on some random weekend at home, by the way, much less by a score. And it was a late score with 6 seconds to go or whatever it was to make it 31-17. And now they're this overwhelming favorite. Oh, they're destined for the college football playoff. Give me a damn break.
Well, let me just say this. One of the things that excites me about this entire segment of North Texas talk that you've just done is that if I know North Texas Mean Green fans, they will find this podcast this
week. Go ahead.
They are going to spam the ever-loving shit out of Gabe Kuhn.
Do it, brother.
At G_Kuhn. KUHN 71.
You had to drop my Twitter handle for it.
You can find him on 92.9 ESPN every single day from 4 to 7. Anyway, they are.
You know what? I'm just going to say it then. If they're going to find this, I think what your guys are doing is really cute. I do. I just don't buy it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't.
See,
you don't get to let another good team in conference hang 63 on you in your home stadium, and me get to. I don't get to. I'm not. I don't have to respect you.
You're not obligated to respect.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I don't have to respect you.
And I'll take it a step further, especially when your mascot is Mean Green. Get the hell out of me.
Stop.
Stop it.
You know why they're named the Mean Green, right?
I don't care.
After Mean Joe Green, brother. Come on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see, you just changed your opinion.
I changed my opinion. Okay.
Yes. That's a
Sorry,
good name. I love your name.
Sorry, North
Don't
Texas.
really get the mascot
Yeah.
with the Mean Green, but hey, it's all good.
Okay, good. Shout out Mean Joe Green. Absolutely.
But yeah, if North Texas fans find this, I think what you've done is very cute. It's nice. You're having a good season. Don't buy it though. Just don't. Sorry. Don't buy
man, I love it though. I love that you actually put it into words because you've said this to me off air numerous times, and I've always been kind of confused as to why. But the fact is that you've said it. In the trenches, they will get smoked by Memphis or USF.
And
it will not.
You know what? I'll give them credit for their win against UTSA. That's the one that really impressed me. But everything else is kind of just. And I guess Washington State. Do we really want to give them a hell of a lot of credit for that early in the season?
It's Power 4.
55-17 against UTSA was great. I'll give them that. But I don't know, man. I don't.
Hey,
UTSA, I'm not obligated to buy into you.
Yeah.
When my biggest point of reference is a team that Memphis beat, South Florida, went into your place and hung 63 on you and routed you.
Yeah.
In the biggest game that you guys have damn near ever had on that campus.
Right.
It's not like they were not ready to play. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't have a pulse if you weren't ready to play.
There you go.
All right, now moving on. Memphis basketball's exhibitions. I just think, Kenny, I guess 99-75 loss against Arkansas. First half looked okay. And then the second game was 100-77 Auburn. I need to hear from you.
Yeah, I turned that Auburn nonsense off, bro. Like I was like, I signed up for the War Eagle Plus network and finally figured out that I wasn't going to have to pay $300 to be on there for a full year, even if I signed up for the 7-day free trial. Thankfully, I was able. So I made sure that I unsubscribed from the War Eagle Plus channel during halftime because if they weren't going to play, I'm not going to watch. And yeah, that was ugly, man. Like,
what was the starting lineup in that game, by the way?
I don't remember, honestly.
It was Doug McDaniel, I think Julius Thedford, Ashton got in there.
Yeah.
And then Aaron wasn't in it, Aaron Bradshaw. But Tierno Seal was the starting big.
Tierno was the starting big, and I don't remember who the other guy was, but
it doesn't matter because it's not going to be the starting lineup.
No, and I think that is I guess the comfort that I've taken in it is that it seemed very clear to me that Penny was just trying some things, right? Like trying to see who were some guys and who weren't. Yeah. I'll just be honest with you, bro, and this is going to be a rough take, I think, a little bit. I'm going to be very frustrated if Penny tries to force Ashton Hardaway down our throats all year. I just don't think that he is built for the level of play that Penny needs him to play.
I'm scared that he thinks of Ashton as like the 25-26 version of Nick Jourdain.
Yeah,
and I'm not. No, that's not a thing. Nick Jourdain's a better rebounder.
More
Nick
athletic.
Jourdain's better side to side defensively.
Yes.
He can block shots. He's a lot more able defensively to switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's in his mind to a certain extent, and I don't want to see that either. Now, I'll take the other side. You say, hey, he's just trying things. Take some comfort in that. I don't take comfort in that because if you're trying things right now, 2 weeks out from the season,
it didn't work, bro.
That means that what you've done so far isn't working.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be lying to you if I said I was not worried. Like I'm a bit worried going into game one because you have to start fast. San Fran's no joke. Then you have number 1, number 11, let's see. Number 1, number 11, 3 teams and others receiving votes.
Yeah.
In the AP top 25.
Yeah.
And you could, I think, face a third-ranked team.
Yeah.
By the time it's all said and done in the non-con with the Baha Mar thing. So it's like there's no time to waste.
Yeah.
So the fact that he didn't have some type of starting lineup ironed out, that's to me a bit concerning. And also, I think it's worth mentioning, I think it was 2 weeks before the Arkansas game, he said by the end of the week, I'm going to have a lineup all figured out.
When I
And
say
he didn't.
when I say he's testing things, I don't think he's testing his starting lineup. I think he knows who that's going to be. I think he was just playing, like, seeing what other dudes can do in other situations.
What do you think his starting lineup's going to be?
I think if before the preseason exhibitions, I would have said Doug, Sincere Parker, Zach Davis, Aaron Bradshaw, and then the Tariq Ingram kid.
Tariq. Okay, that's what I was thinking too. That's what I would bet on.
But
Literally
Tariq,
those 5.
but Tariq looks really bad out of shape. Like Tariq looks
Jordan
really
Brown out of shape.
bad, like Jordan Brown out of shape. And that's the part that I go, okay, well then that's not good. Like that's because when they signed Tariq, I was like, okay, that kind of releases some of the stress of this roster of what it looked like Penny was going to have to do because of the natural size of Aaron Bradshaw, you would suspect that he would be the starting 5, right? He's a 7-footer, but that's just not his game.
That's not how he plays.
That's not how he plays. And so I honestly thought, okay, Aaron Bradshaw will be the Nick Jourdain type power forward of this game, of this season, of this team, where he's stretching the floor, playing defense, athletic, able to move the ball, able to shoot the ball from distance. And then you would see a Dane / Musa type player in Tariq. If he's not ready for it, I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Yeah. I think Sincere and Zach are good. The biggest thing is I'm like, okay, I think Julius Thedford is going to be awesome. I think those guys are going to be fine. I get concerned about the lack of discipline in which they played with in terms of fouling, especially on defense. Like they just
and know what pisses me off too. I shouldn't say pisses me off. Bothered me with that Arkansas game. First 15 minutes they played as connected,
yes,
as you could have possibly imagined for the first 15 minutes of your first exhibition game.
I was
and then
quite
the last
stunned.
25, it was like every man for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Arkansas can make adjustments, but we know that John Calipari just sort of rolled. Like, I don't know how many adjustments he's making in the damn locker room. He must have made some.
He had to have made
completely thrown off. And then also, Penny, after the second exhibition game against Auburn, said, "Oh, well, they came out in zone. We haven't practiced against zone."
Yeah,
which weirdly enough is kind of common. Like, I've kind of seen that around the country the past couple of years. But practice against his own. That's what they're going to do to you, man. They've seen you shoot 10 for 52 from 3 in these 2 exhibition games. They will zone the hell out of you until you prove them otherwise.
I love, and you know this, having covered the University of Memphis for years and being around Penny Hardaway for years. He's been here for almost a decade now as the head coach. He is phenomenal in giving quotes, right? Like he is a quote machine. To his detriment sometimes, where you're just like, what the hell, right?
Well, and here's what's to his detriment. He's honest.
He's very
honest. We ask for honesty all the time, then he gives it to us, and we're like, well,
I didn't like that.
Sounded.
I don't like that at all. So when you hear him say, like, a week before, they start a non-conference schedule that's going to be a beast, to say, yeah, we haven't even practiced zone yet. Like they just kind of threw. Whoa.
My advice would be don't say that.
Yeah.
I know that honesty's usually the best policy. Not in this case.
Yeah.
Not in this case.
It's okay to lie sometimes.
Here are my 3 concerns. I have 3 concerns.
Right.
1, front court in depth, and Tariq Ingram getting in shape. They didn't rebound well in either game in particular, but certainly not in that Arkansas game. Also, I don't think they have a rim presence, so they just are not that good inside.
Right.
They have some bodies, but I don't think any of them are particularly well versed at being like full-time 5, rough and tumble, dirty work guys, which definitely concerns me. The second thing, I didn't think I'd have this concern, and I guess Sincere Parker can do some of this as well, but like outside of Doug McDaniel, from a consistent perspective, I don't see a whole lot of shot creation out there.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. But that could change. Like Julius Thedford, if he gets more minutes, may show me something. Yep. Curtis Givens, if he starts shooting better than 39% from the field like he did at LSU last year, he might show me something.
True.
Like there's some guys that could break through and show me something, but I'm concerned about their off-ball or on-ball creation. And then the third thing is the 3-point shooting. 10 for 52. from 3 in 2 games ain't going to cut it. But also with that one, I'll give a little bit of a pass because last year they were horrible in the exhibition shooting from the 3-point line. And then the first 2 months of the year, they were 40% above.
They were the number 1 3-point shooting team in the country.
So, that one I'm willing to wait on. The first 2, not so much. The first 2 kind of, they are concerns that I think will catch up to them throughout the season.
Well, and it was so funny. And you think about, like, that's kind of been my mantra this entire offseason, and especially in these exhibition games, is let's not forget, like, last year, North Carolina and Alabama exhibition games. The Tigers did not look good in either one of those. They showed you some fight.
There were some moments.
They showed you some fight. Yeah.
Right.
But they just didn't look like a well-oiled machine. And then they come out in the non-conference when it actually counts, and you're like, whoa, oh, God. Like, these guys are great, right?
Yeah.
And so, when you hear Penny say things like, this is the second best roster I've had since I've been at Memphis. And then you hear reports coming out of camp where he's like, where it's like, this team shoots better than any team I've had. I go, he's not a liar. Like, there's one thing about Penny Hardaway that is that he's not a liar.
Listen, he's not a liar. Like, there's so many there's nuance with what Penny has to say, because he is objective, like, he is a positive person. He is positive nearly at all times before games are played, at least. He usually tries to have the positive outlook on everything. But, like, with all the waivers over the years, we feel good about it. None of them have come through.
Yeah, that's right. That's true, too.
I feel like he doesn't lie, but he has belief in his team, genuinely, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, he's overly positive until he's not, and then you're like, whoa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they lose a game and look like shit against Rice, you know what I mean? He will call out everybody, and he'll tell you he's going to have a new starting 5 next time out. Then he hates the team. So I don't know. But I'm saying until games are played, like in the off season and the preseason, he's usually pretty positive.
Yeah, he is. He is. Listen, I'm glad they count now. November 8th against San Francisco at the FedEx Forum. It'll be fun that it counts. And God, I want this. I'm just so ready to have games that matter and then good things happen, right? Like, I want for Penny Hardaway, I want him to go as far as he wants to go in this NCAA tournament.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I want him to,
of course. But I think there's been misnomers over the years about the general public's feeling on Penny Hardaway. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's some crazy assholes out there that have never rooted for Penny Hardaway. But, like, I think it's disastrous to think about Penny falling flat on his face and not being able to recover and either stepping down or that's always been a disaster. Like,
it's the worst
horrible thing in most people's minds, I think, for just looking at the general Memphis fan. I don't think anybody wants that. I think everybody wants the most success possible for Penny in that program.
Absolutely.
Simple. All right, now we need the hot 3. And in the hot 3 today, Hugh Freeze gets fired. And then we have some negative news to talk about when it comes to the Memphis Grizzlies. Tuomas, Iisalo. If you haven't seen it, we'll tell you about it on the other side. But stick around.
In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
There is plenty of blame to go around. I'm not wholly blaming Ja. If what he was upset about is the number of minutes and the rotations, then I'm firmly on his side on that, because we are doing the same goofy rotation type mess that we did last year, kind of getting frustrated with the other team's best players playing 8, 9, 10 minutes more than our best players. We have way too many minutes still where their best players are playing John Conchar and Santi Aldama and Jock Landell and Cam Spencer. No offense to those guys, but there ain't no world where I don't want John Morant and Jaren on the court.
If John's being called out by the head coach for actual things, I'm for that.
Yeah.
That's what a head coach is supposed to do. Either way, if you are the franchise guy, if you are the guy, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't
do
just
that.
you can't just turn off in the half of a game.
Can't do that.
Tune into The Daily Grind with your host, Luke Hatmaker, every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, we are back with the Hot Three. We got some fun stuff to talk about, and I promise you, I'll make a promise to you in this first one, I will not gloat over someone's failure. I will not do that.
You can. It's fine.
Is that okay? All right.
I know you ain't no. You are not a Hugh Freeze fan for a multitude of reasons. I get it, brother. Trust me. It is not only the Ole Miss thing. Okay, it dates back a while, but he's done. A quarter of the SEC jobs are open.
That's wild, dude. That's crazy.
LS and there could be more.
There's going to be more.
Mark Stoops at Kentucky may not survive the year. Shane Beamer at South Carolina is getting chippy.
Yeah, man.
That's getting ugly.
What is it saying about the SEC? Like, what is this saying to you? Is it not like, are they just not as? Are fan bases just getting tired of them beating up each other, or is
I
it
think
just
it's
not
just,
good?
I don't know if it's just limited to the SEC, but the SEC is all about football, right? So,
right.
If you don't give results quick enough, you're gone. It's a quick hook. You're out. And if you lose an errant game 10-3 to Kentucky, you're certainly out of there at home.
Yeah.
But Hugh Freeze is gone. He was 15-19 overall at Auburn, 6-16 in SEC play, and this stat blows me away. 2-9 at home in SEC play.
Dude, that's so crazy.
And Jordan Hare.
That's so crazy. Because even a couple of weeks ago, when all the talks and reports about him being on the hot seat were, I was watching the Auburn LSU game where, dude, at Auburn, and it was
Auburn Georgia, maybe
Auburn Georgia. That's what it was. I'm sorry. Yes,
with the fumble and
the environment was wild.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I don't think this is anybody else's fault besides Hughes. I got to be completely real with you. Here's a stat that's going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
There are 3 teams in the country whose defense has yet to give up more than 24 points in a game. Those 3 teams are number 1 Ohio State, number 2 Indiana, and 4 and 5 Auburn. Those are the 3 teams that have yet to give up 24 plus points in a game.
And yet they're 4 and 5.
And yet they're 4 and 5. Why is that? Because their offense stinks. It's horrible. And that's supposed to be Hugh Freeze's calling card.
He's the quarterback whisperer, right?
He's supposed to be the guy that brings in a good quarterback. He's supposed to be the guy that schemes it up and makes it happen, uses the quarterback run game to his advantage. And I didn't see any of that. None of it.
All right, let's be blunt about it.
Early in the season, maybe against Baylor, good game.
Yeah.
There's been moments, but they can't convert in the red zone.
Yeah.
Jackson Arnold's been an abject disaster for them. He put in Ashton Daniels, the transfer from Stanford this past weekend. That was worse. I don't know. I think he spent too much time on the golf course and didn't update his offense since he took over at Auburn. I think he was a little bit complacent. I don't know exactly what happened, and maybe this is just us giving him too much credit from his Ole Miss days because it's a different day and age altogether, right?
Well, he did it at Liberty too. Let's be frank. He did it at Liberty too.
But that's CUSA, brother. Like that's
No, I got you.
And I think when he was there originally, they were independent. You know what I mean? They could schedule whatever they wanted. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he's just offensively hasn't updated his bag since 2015. You know what I mean? And that's a problem. And when you're playing an SEC schedule, it will bite the hell. It'll kill you. And the other thing that I've talked about multiple times with him is he's never been able to take accountability, man.
Ever. That's the part that I think drives.
And I know that's not why he got fired. If he never took accountability and he went 10-2 this year, he'd still be the coach at Auburn.
Right.
But that's something that adds to the story with Hugh that really has never made me a fan of him. Ever.
Yeah.
Beyond just the nonsense off the field, it's always if play calls go right, he made them. If play calls go wrong, his OC made them. If the quarterback has a bad game, it's just the mentality of the quarterback that I brought in. Well, you brought him in. You brought him in. You control that. It's always somebody else's fault.
If you use your school-issued cell phone to reach out to ladies that you probably shouldn't be reaching out to, it's not your fault, right? Like,
I'm a man of God.
It's the devil
first
that did
and foremost,
it.
I'm a man of God. And did you see John Cohen's, the AD's, shout on the statement on firing him? He said, Hugh Freeze is a man of integrity.
Yeah,
no, the fuck he's not.
There is nothing. There's nothing about him. I think it's been that. If you are as a person in your personal life able to do the things and say the things that he says and still like sleep at night, then I just go, hey bro, like that's my biggest issue is the thumping of it's like standing in front of people when things are going well and saying, the quoting of the scripture and
all glory to God,
and then as soon as things go badly, it's everybody else's fault.
Also, we have a problem with that in this country in general, but I don't want to get into it. It's just too much.
Hypocrisy drives me crazy, bro.
Yes, it does.
And that's where I'm at with him. That's why I laugh at him, because there's no greater hypocrite in SEC football than
and there's a lot of them, but he does top the list. He really does.
He's up there.
But yeah, where does Auburn turn from here? I've seen some odds from like offshore books because our good friends at FanDuel Sportsbook don't do this.
Yes.
But the top two right now, I believe they are shortest odds, both tied. Kenny Dillingham, at Arizona State, and John Sumrall.
Wasn't Kenny on staff at Auburn for a minute?
Yeah, with Gus.
With Gus. Yeah.
Yeah, and he couldn't. I don't want to put anything on him that he wouldn't say himself, but I'm pretty sure he couldn't wait to get the hell out of there because Gus is going to run his offense the way he runs. But honestly, I bet that job helped him parlay that in Oregon.
Oh, of course.
He had experience in the SEC as an OC, and then ultimately had enough experience to take over to Arizona State. So I'm sure it helped him. But being an OC for Gus Malzahn cannot be, especially at the end, cannot be a fun thing. Could not have been a fun thing.
More than likely not, no.
But I don't know if Kenny's going to leave because Arizona State's kind of his dream job. That's his alma mater.
Right.
John Sumrall, I think he'd do a lot worse. Like, that would be a decent hire to me. I think he's done a good job at Tulane. He knows the area. He coached at Troy. He coached in the state.
Right.
Obviously, you still have to compete with Alabama for in-state recruits, but it's national recruiting these days anyway. And I think John Sumrall's young, hungry, understands NIL, understands all of that. So I feel like he would have some success. I don't know how quick he'd have success, but I think he's the type of coach that would make sense for them. And then I'm just going to keep bringing this name up. For every job in the SEC that's not LSU, you could do a lot worse than James Franklin, guys. You just could. Like, I know he's unemployed. I still find him to be a top 15 coach in college football. You could argue top 10. By the way.
I get. You talked about at the beginning of this discussion. We were talking about the SEC and football coaches, and you said just quick hooks, right? Like, and when you're a team like Auburn or a team like LSU or whatever school in the SEC that's firing, Florida, whoever it may be, there is a level of toxicity that has been prevalent in your program for a couple of years for you to fire your head coach. And if you're a young and up and coming coach, if you're a John Summerall, if you're even, let's say, at a Ryan Silverfield, if you're a whoever it may be, somebody that's not in the Power Four, who's young and has had head coaching experience and has had success where they are, is the SEC an attractive place for these coaches anymore because of the quick hook?
They lead the free world in buyouts and coaching contracts, so yeah.
But okay, that to me is more attractive to guys like a James Franklin or a Brian Kelly who, listen, they don't care. Brian Kelly will never coach another game in college football, more than likely, because of his buyout. But you're talking about young, hungry, up-and-coming coaches, right? Like, you're talking about guys who still want to prove they got chips on their shoulders. They want to prove shit. Like,
well, and here's, in the end of the day, we've had this discussion. All coaches have arrogance that they think they can do it. They think they can beat every team in the SEC when they take a job. They think that they can get a team to a national title. You know what I mean? Like, there's an arrogance you have to have as a coach, college football, NFL, otherwise. So I think that's part of taking a job in the SEC and why it's still attractive, because you're gonna be out there, pushed out first by ESPN. You're gonna get a bunch of ranked opportunities. You're gonna be on national TV. You're gonna have the spotlight. So like that means something to those guys. For as many Lane Kiffins that are out there, guys who have who are young and hungry and who had coaching experience prior, obviously Tennessee, USC, all those places, was on staff at Alabama for some years. For the success that he's having at Ole Miss, the culture building, the levels of success that he's experiencing, the stories are more prevalent about guys like Brian Kelly, guys like Hugh Freeze, guys like Billy Napier, guys like those, even a Shane Beamer at South Carolina. And so I guess like my question about it is, like, if you are a Ryan Silverfield or whoever it may be, is it worth is that pressure of? Well, folks don't think that way, Kenny.
I know.
Don't think that way, man. They don't
think they can do it. They think they
exactly.
can do it. Mike Norvell is about to get run out of. Yeah.
We have to acknowledge that before anything else. Like, none of these coaches, when they're up for these jobs and they've had success at the job where they can take a leap from, none of them are saying, "Oh, that's too much pressure. I don't know if I could do it."
No, I get that.
Have that mindset.
But I think here's what I think guys understand is it's going to take time to rebuild the culture that is at that place. There's so much toxicity, so much rot inside those fan bases and inside those athletic departments. Do they think, yeah, I know I can do it, but they're not going to give me the time to do it?
I'd say the one that we would look at where that's what you just described. No offense to Arkansas fans, you're the one.
Yes.
I think Auburn is a good job that you could turn around quicker than you think. You got a lot of money. You got a lot of donors willing to give money. You have a hungry fan base. You're in the state of Alabama. You're in the heart of SEC country. You have a roster right now, like I mentioned, that's ready to compete. Like, they just need an offense and
their defense is awesome. Apparently, the numbers tell us that.
And then, like LSU with the governor's a little weird, but still, it's always been a good job.
Yeah.
Florida's a decent job. I am worried about how many cooks in the kitchen they have there.
Yes.
That's sort of like all SEC jobs. Yeah, I would just say to you on that front, no coach gets into it and takes a job thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be the next Sam Pittman. I'm going to be the next Shane Beamer. I'm going to be the next Hugh Freeze." They think I'm going to be the next Nick Saban. I'm going to be the next. That's what they think about themselves.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's just a mindset that's innate to that industry.
Every bit of that makes sense to me. I just don't think these SEC schools are built for it. I don't think Florida State is built to allow a young and up and coming coach who has clearly been able to take a Tulane and say, "Listen, this was a dumpster fire a couple of years ago, and now look at where it's at." I know John Summerall built off of what Willie Fritz did there. I know Willie Fritz got it going in a really good direction, but historically, Tulane didn't even have 400 people showing up to their games, and now they're sold out every game. Like, I don't know, bro. It's just wild. College football is such a wild environment, man. It's just shooting dice. It's like just rolling the dice. You just never know.
Yeah. No, we have another wild story to talk about.
John Morant and Tuomas Iisalo got beef, bro.
They do. Basically, what happened? Lakers game. Grizzlies are up 14, and I think every fan that watches the Grizzlies saw John Morant quit on both ends of the floor.
Oh,
He
yeah.
looked like absolute garbage. Didn't give effort on the defensive end. I can't tell you how many times he gave the ball up to Cam Spencer on the offensive end and went and sat in the corner. But he gave up, even though the Grizzlies were up 14 at halftime. And clearly it led to some pleasantries being exchanged in the locker room. And within the locker room, the press, assembled media, walked up to John, started talking to him about it. And every question he answered with, talk to the staff about it. You should ask him about it. Yeah. You should, do you want to play more? Ask him about it. Ask the staff. So he was clearly angry, and that led to a game suspension. Now, what was said, I would love to be a fly on the wall to see what happened in that locker room, because I don't know if this was the team getting after his ass with the coach, or, this was just strictly the coach getting after him, and he didn't like how it sounded. I'm gonna attempt to view it from both sides really quick.
Okay.
For Ja, you can't quit on your team up 14, man, just because you're not having singular success, not having personal success. That's ridiculous. Right. You got to grow up. That's not okay to do. It's not. Now, I can understand where you're frustrated. Like, you're not getting the same minutes that star players get. And we can talk to Tuomas about that, and we can continue to push that agenda and discuss. But at the same time, you can't quit on your team when you're up because you're not seeing the success that you feel like you need.
Right.
That's awful. That it honestly pissed me off. And Ja, this is not like I was talking to David Cobb about this on my show, Gabe Kuhn Show.
Hey,
92.9 FM ESPN Monday through Friday.
Let's go.
I was talking to him about it, and he said, "This isn't strike 2. This isn't strike 3. This is like strike 7 or 8 with Ja." And this is not the first time this has showed up. Where, okay, team's having success, he's not, and he doesn't like it. It's not the only reason Taylor Jenkins got fired, but I do want to go back to last year.
Mm-hmm.
Ja was not getting as many on-ball screens, high ball screens. He wasn't having the same production offensively as he normally is used to having because they did that equal opportunity offense. Now, if you go look at the stats and you look at how the team was playing within that offense, you may disagree with me, Kenny. It was working for the most part. It was. They were better in the half court. They were putting up, a top 5 offensive rating.
Yeah.
They were shooting the 3 ball better than they had the entire time that Taylor Jenkins or John Morant had been with the organization. But Ja wasn't really jiving with it. So what did the organization do? They're like, okay, that got stale. We got to move on. Noah LaRoche and Taylor Jenkins offense, let's get this out of here. Let's go back to getting Ja going. And I feel like that's sort of like that equal opportunity offense is why Ja or Taylor Jenkins fell out of favor with Ja. But it wasn't because the team wasn't having success. The team was having success. Jaren Jackson Jr. had a career year offensively. Santi Aldama had a career year offensively.
Right.
But Ja didn't have that success, so it kind of led to some strife within the organization where, hey, who are we picking, Taylor Jenkins and Noah LaRoche, or are we picking Ja? That's an easy decision. We pick Ja every time.
Absolutely.
So that's something you just have to grow past. And I understand we're in the player empowerment era, but dog, like – at some point, you have to be a good teammate. At some point, you have to put team success over personal success. Every great has done it at some point.
Yep.
And I think John needs to learn that lesson. Now, on Tuomas Iisalo's side, this is what I'll say. Two big issues. One, buddy, I know you coached down the stretch last year. This is your 6th NBA game that you got beef with John Morant in. Let's earn something first. Phil Jackson could go after Shaq and Kobe because he had a 3-peat with the Bulls and won championships with Shaq and Kobe. The Spurs, Greg Popovich, he could get after Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker's ass if he wanted to, because guess what? They won 5 championships together. I would say to you, Tuomas, you may have accomplished some things over in Europe. You ain't accomplished shit in the NBA. So there has to be a pretty healthy understanding of that. I'm not saying you baby Ja. Maybe it's the best thing you could have done to get on his ass early so you can, set a tone with him, hold him accountable. And I get that. But you got to be careful. It's a different era of player. And when you have not been a coach but for 6 games in a full capacity, not an interim, you got to tread a little more lightly. And also, I will say, Tuomas, I think one of the reasons Ja gets pissed off is he looks up every game.
Yep.
and he sees that every other star player is playing 10 minutes more than him.
Right.
I know that you do the speed kills thing, and
Yeah.
you're supposed to play fast, but your pace isn't even fast.
It's not fast.
You're not playing fast.
No.
And also, when speed kills, the other team's playing at that same speed, yet you guys have to rotate a bunch of guys in. They don't have to, though.
Yeah.
They can play their stars for 36 minutes. I don't like the approach, and I don't think it's worked in any meaningful way through 7 games. Now, maybe I'll get proven wrong, but the other part of that is I would get the speed kills, play everybody 11-man rotation approach if you had Ty Jerome, Zach Edey, Scottie Pippen Jr., Brandon Clark all in the lineup. Like, I would at least be like understanding. You have solid NBA players. But when your bench is Cam Spencer, Omax Prosper on a 2-way, John Conchar, like, dude, that you can't do that. You have to play good NBA players to win NBA games. I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying that.
100%. Like I've seen in our comment section, we've seen people talking about Tuomas Iisalo and what his system is that he's bringing over. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And that probably works in Europe when you have guys who are on a subpar level talent-wise. You need to maximize that roster. And it's the same conversation we had with Taylor Jenkins last year. But this is the NBA, right? Like, this is where you have the elite of the elite. And I don't care. Listen, you can have a system and you can have an idea of how things should be done, but there is not a single coaching philosophy that says to me that makes sense that you don't play your best players the most amount of minutes, right? And so, like, I don't care if you think you are the God's gift to basketball, Tuomas Iisalo. Play your best players the most minutes, like just and put them on the court together. And guess what? I'll even say this: it's time to have Cedric Coward conversations about him getting more minutes, right? Like,
he might need to start.
He might need to start at this point. Like, just frankly, like he's a energy guy that does a lot of things. I will disagree with you in one part. You said that Tuomas Iisalo needs to have more time to be able to have those kinds of conversations with Ja. I disagree with that. The only reason we know about those conversations is because Ja brought it public, right? And that tells me, all that tells me is that that's never happened before, because if that kind of conversation had happened in the last 7 years of Ja Morant being in the NBA, then he probably would have had some scar tissue and been able to like work through that and not have his feelings hurt as badly as he did and be so pissed off to where he felt like the right and proper thing to do is to go to the media and make an ass of yourself, because that's what he did. Yeah. He brought it public. He took what happened in the locker room.
That's true.
And brought it public. That's on Ja. That's not on Tuomas Iisalo. Those kinds of conversations happen all the time.
Listen, I'm not like absolving Ja of blame when I say that. I think you understand that part of it. But like, my point is there has to be an understanding in this day and age that you can piss off your star player pretty quickly. Right? If you don't jive with him, especially 6 games into a season, that's on you. If you want to be the hardo immediately, that may not work out for you very long.
Well, listen.
Like here's my example. Can I give you an example?
Please.
And I know this is not a 1-for-1, but Adrian Griffin with the Milwaukee Bucks came in, didn't get along with Giannis, gone halfway through his first season, even though he was still pacing the season pretty well. Doc Rivers comes in. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to be more careful and more mindful of where you stand as an NBA head coach, because these guys are celebrities. These guys have accomplished things as NBA players that you haven't as a head coach.
Right.
Like, so like, you haven't even coached, you haven't won a playoff game, brother. Like, it's just, I know the normal coach player relationship is what you're pointing out. And I agree with that. I think in a perfect world, that's how it should be. But for Tuomas, it's 6 games into your career, man. Like,
but I will
burn it a little bit is all I'm saying.
I will say there are certain non-negotiables as a coach.
Yes. And you can't watch a guy
quitting on your team while you're up by 14 and losing that game because you want more minutes is a non-negotiable, and it deserves to be called out. Now, if you have an issue with – go ahead.
I wonder how it went, Kenny. I want to know how that locker room, that post-game meeting went.
I have a theory. Can I get
you told me about this before the show. Share it, because I'm curious if people will think this is how it works out.
I legitimately do feel like that Ja Morant probably went into the locker room after the game and probably lit into some dudes and started we lost this game because of your bum ass and your bum ass and your bum ass and you did this and you did that and you did that. And I think Tuomas Iisalo was like, bro, we probably would have won that game if we hadn't even played you because of how badly you quit on this team.
Right.
Because if you listen to what he said, ask the coach, and then he elaborated.
Yeah, he
everybody's,
did say,
everybody's like,
"Oh,
"Oh,
not
what the?"
play me."
Yeah, based on the conversation we just had back there, they probably wouldn't have played me. That's exactly what he said. And so that's the part of it to me where I give grace to Tuomas Iisalo in that regard.
Yeah.
If you have an issue with somebody in the way they run your offense, hey man, this is Ja Morant. He's a superstar in your team. He is the best player. He is the North Star for your franchise. You kind of listen in and go, like if there are, I'll give you an example. And I might have some insight on this. Let's say your star player likes to walk around the facility playing loud music without headphones. Maybe one of the things that you don't do is make a rule saying you can't use your phone in the locker room without headphones. Maybe we don't do that before the season starts. Like maybe that's something we don't do.
Yes. But if he quits on you.
But if he quits on your team in the middle of a game, you call that shit out immediately. Yeah. That's my final take.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Right now.
Well, they're playing right now. They're playing right now.
On a Monday. Right now, it's 58-48 half, and Ja has played
18 minutes.
18 minutes, most on the team, 12 points. But he is also 3 for 10 from the field and 0 for 2 from 3.
Yeah, but he's got the fact that he's 0 for 2 from 3, I'm fine with that. Just don't take 7 of them.
But he's clearly getting to the rack and getting fouled.
He's I've been kind of watching the game a little bit as we've been talking, and he is playing with more intensity. And I will say, Charles Bassey has been getting a lot of minutes today, and he is well,
yeah, you're playing Jayden Daniel.
Yeah, you better. You better.
The Pistons are one of the best rebounding teams in the league. Grizzlies are one of the worst. You better play somebody big.
All shout out to Jayden Daniel for that because that guy's a freak, man.
I wish the Grizzlies had him so bad.
Oh my gosh, I'd do a lot to get Jayden Daniel on the Grizzlies.
What would you do? I'm just kidding. Let's get to the last one.
Yeah, I'll show you off air.
Okay.
All right, so
you're sick.
We talked about this with Brendon Lewis. And that maybe they could have taken him out a little bit earlier. Ryan Silverville could have taken him out of the game a little bit earlier, maybe not risk an injury. We saw it on Sunday night. The Washington Commanders faced off against who were they playing again? Oh my gosh.
They're playing the Seahawks.
The Seahawks, thank you. Yeah. Good Lord. Game was over long time before the fourth quarter.
38-7.
Yes, 38-7 in the fourth quarter. Jayden Daniel still in the game, and he absolutely destroyed his elbow.
Snapped his arm. I mean, just snapped it. And I don't know the full, what happened. If he probably has some chip bones.
Yeah, they said dislocation, but yeah, they're doing MRIs.
You usually don't dislocate the arm that badly and not have some type of bone fragments that are bouncing around, but
nerve damage, tendon issues, things.
Yeah, like that. So the Commander season's over because Dan Quinn decided to keep Jayden Daniels in the game for a drive in the fourth quarter when they were down 38-7. He snaps his arm on the field with 7 minutes and 39 seconds to go, down 38-7. And listen, I want to give credit where credit's due to Dan Quinn, right? Dan Quinn came out today and he said, I missed it. It was a shit decision by me. Awful decision. So he took it directly on the chin and made it very clear it was dumb as hell of him to do. But the one thing I'd say to Dan Quinn is that doesn't unfuck his arm.
He's still got a broken elbow, bro.
Yeah. It doesn't undislocate his elbow. So I just couldn't believe that transpired. It made me sick.
Devastating.
It made me sick. It's not his throwing arm, so that's, I guess, a positive. But it's going to be next year till we see Jayden Daniels, and that's a damn shame because his coach decided to keep him in late. So I hope this is a lesson around the league. Don't do the play to win the game bullshit. Just don't do it. If you feel the game's out of reach, take your stars out.
Especially in football, bro. Like football is such a listen. I get it. You need reps and stuff like that, but it is such a violent game. Like violent's the wrong word. It's such a brutal game, right? Like you can get hurt. There's 22 people out there, and they're all top level athletes, and they're all flying around.
Listen, violent is kind of like, listen, I've never been to war, okay?
Right.
But I've seen some injuries live in the flesh and heard guys writhing in pain where it's like, I can never get those images out of my head.
Yeah.
It is violent. You're allowed to say violent.
Okay. I know
like
some words
I've seen knees snap and guys screaming in pain. I've seen arms snap. I've seen so many. I've seen guys have their I've seen a collapsed lung. I've seen a guy get punched in his throat and it swells up so much that he can't breathe and has to get put in the back of an ambulance immediately. It is a violent game.
There's just not many sports out there that literally snap to snap can take years off your career and potentially years off
your life.
And so
your life.
And so it's like when you have the opportunity, like especially with like basketball, baseball, all that kind of stuff, you keep players in, you get reps and you fight to the end. But in football, bro, like when it's over, it's over, and don't play with their lives like that.
No. You're down 31 points, brother, with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah. Take
your star quarterback out. I don't want to have to hear you apologize for it because it never should have happened.
Oh, God. Let me ask you this. I'm not a big fan of like talking about fireable offenses, but is Dan Quinn's seat hot because of that?
No.
I'm just saying, dude, that's literally
he'll be back next year. They can get it going. But, let's be honest. Dan Quinn took over year one and brought him to the NFC title game. So
100%.
I don't know if we can just
I'm just saying that is brutal. That is brutal.
It was awful. It was terrible to watch. Awful.
Well,
yep.
That's it.
That'll do it for On the Bluff Pod. Appreciate y'all out there listening. Appreciate you, Kenny. You're the man.
Hey, you're the man, dude. I appreciate you so much.
But go like, subscribe, follow Bluff City Media. Check out all our great podcasts, Anthony Sane Show, $2 Sports Show, live college footballs on Saturdays. That's a great show. Love that.
Hey, by the way, we had my weekend. We had an awesome Saturday. We were at College Football Saturdays at Grind City Brewing. Went live at 1:30, right in the middle of the Hot Wing Festival out in the yard at Grind City Brewing.
It
was the greatest smelling event I've ever been to.
Well, did you eat? You ate some hot wings, I'm assuming.
Yeah. You go check out Bluff City Media's Instagram page. You'll see a video that we made of Rusty Witten, who's the host of the College Football Saturday show, Jared Davison, who's one of the co-hosts of it. They went and ate the hottest wing on the entire field, and it is hilarity ensued. We had a bunch of people there, and
that is really dumb.
It was dumb.
Nope. Was it a ghost pepper one or like a Carolina Reaper?
43 Carolina Reaper sauce. Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. Yeah, 43.
Did you have milk and ice cream ready to go?
Nope, they had nothing. It was awesome.
They've never done that before. Then they were very ill prepared.
It was great. It was a great time.
You'd have to end the show.
Yeah, no we didn't do it live on the show. We did it after the show was done. So we did the show.
Camera, please, because I need this video.
Go to Instagram. It's on.
Okay,
Instagram.
it's on the IG. Okay,
yeah, it's on our IG. But listen, I think we have like one or two for the rest of the season. We got to get you back out there, bro.
I'll be out there.
You're the best. You and Drew and Rusty just
hell of a time.
Great time. We got to get you back out there for College Football Saturday.
I will. I'll be out there.
Brewing.
I'll be out there.
We'll keep you updated.
Yep, but we'll wrap this edition of the On the Bluff podcast up. We will talk to you next week.
Thank you for listening to On the Bluff. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports and how you can become an insider.